Welcome to the Rugs to Riches show. Grab a drink and get comfortable. The live show is about to start.
What is going on, everybody? Thanks for joining the show. We've got a special guest in the house tonight. We got Bailey from Bailey's Bets. What's going on? Let's hear a round of applause for him.
Oh, I am not used to this. This is like production value. There's like an intro song, clapping. Like, wow.
Part-time.
Big leagues now.
Professional show here on the YouTubes and the internet. All right, this is the #1 crypto show, so welcome.
Yeah. Hey, I was looking at the channel
for Zach's face right there. I don't know what's going on. You're freezing up on us.
My internet's been acting crazy. Let me jump back in for you guys. Beer.
This guy, he's probably like a penny pincher. He's like, he's eating ramen noodles. He's probably stealing his neighbor's Wi-Fi, to save up for every last little bit that he could DCA into crypto.
That's 100% it.
I know it is.
He told me he hit it big in crypto and he bought himself a sauna. And then when he showed it to me, it's like one of those plastic ones that you wrap around. I was like, bro, that's like the budget $20 ones on Amazon. We lost them.
So that's all right. Who needs them anyway?
So, man,
I'll be back.
Give me a little rundown. I mean, how's your summer been? How have you been? Last time I watched you, you were doing a lot with Trunk and Elephant.
Yeah. I launched my channel. Exclusively doing elephant money and kind of trying to do like the educational side of things and try to, teach people basically how like crypto works, the mechanics of it and everything. And, I loved all the mechanics of the protocol. I was really feeling the Bertha double supply shock, taking down BNB, and with the elephant supply shock. And then, BT had to pivot and go to Trunk instead, where like Trunk is now like the cornerstone of the ecosystem right now. And all of my videos are they're like completely like outdated now.
Yeah.
It's like the tokenomics have changed drastically. So I'm kind of like, wow, like, all right, you try to wrap your head around that. And what Trunk is doing right now is like super impressive. I'm a little like, first of all, I am in like Solend, USDC, I am supplying people with that capital where they can do, all sorts of different strategies to, to lever up Trunk. Or personally, I'm not doing like the leverage play, but I'm making a lot of interest there. And then I'm like, with my dividends, I'm like buying the Trunk token right now.
So I watched Zach's video today. This is a little 3-minute video. Excellent, by the way. I gave it 1 thumb up because you can't give it 2. Otherwise, I would.
Thank you, sir.
But I had some questions about it because I'm still kind of like new to the whole Solin aspect. I'm trying to wrap my head about it. What's so special about it compared? Like how I feel like it's brand new, but it's not brand new. It's been around for a while, right? This whole lending the USDC on Solin. So why is it like now popping off with Trunk?
I can touch about that a little bit for you, AG, and then Bailey, whatever you want to jump in, feel free. So Solin, for people watching at home as well, if they're not familiar, it's similar to like Aave, which is one of the more well-known borrowing and lending protocols in crypto.
Mm-hmm.
What they made special is saying, hey, we're going to be a protocol in which you can bring your cryptocurrencies, your different, whether it be wrapped Bitcoin on, let's say, Ethereum's case, or USDC or Aave token, or right, they offer a lot of these different cryptocurrencies that they'll allow you to accept them as collateral, and then they will allow you to borrow against them. So let's say, for example, you had a big bag of Ethereum, and you maybe wanted to not sell your Ethereum and incur a capital gains tax, but you wanted to get, let's say, $1,000 off your $10,000 Ethereum bag that you may have. You want to stay exposed to the asset, right? I don't want to sell $1,000 of Ethereum and only have 9,000 of Ethereum now. I still want to have my 10K of Ethereum, but I still want to access some of that liquidity. So that's what these borrowing and leveraging protocols do. They allow you to take on risk against your collateral, against your cryptocurrency. So,
Sure.
so Solend, right, with that in mind, what it's doing is it's allowing, from my understanding, it's a permissionless borrowing and lending protocol that's allowing different cryptocurrencies, so some that are not even, quote unquote, the blue chip assets like Ethereum or Bitcoin or USDC, right? Something like Trunk, which is a community cryptocurrency, right? They allow you to now as well create a borrowing and lending market for that token. So what Bank Teller had set up on Solend is essentially a market for USDC and Trunk. And so now what people can do, they can supply their Trunk and take a debt against it. So once again, it's a form of leverage. It's a form of taking risk, additional risk, and it is a more kind of higher level play. But kind of like Bailey was mentioning, the very easy and like way to win from it is people who want to take that higher risk and take on debt against their position, right? You can be the bank. You can win as the banker. You can be the one who is simply supplying USDC to the pool, single-sided. So I was just literally putting in, however much USDC I'm interested in providing, and you're earning that yield that's being paid by people who are right now mainly borrowing. They might stake their Trunk, borrow USDC, and buy more Trunk, stake that Trunk, borrow a little bit more. So it's a form of like,
Okay.
maybe you can get 2x or more of leverage, but you're paying a
Sure.
price for it.
So I get that. So here's my question that I'm not understanding. So let's say there's Ethereum and USB or USDC pools. How come the Trunk pool is so much higher percentage wise than, let's say, a blue chip pool or any other pool? Like what's making the elephant ecosystem pool more desirable than any other pool out there?
Sorry for the feedback there. Give me 1 second here. That should go away. If you could share my screen, I just joined on my computer, so I could share my screen and show you the answer to that question.
Lesson time. School is back.
Let me go ahead and share my screen here. Present slide, not slides. I know Bailey knows the answer to this question too. Maybe. Can you see my screen all right there?
You got three screens. Look at that. We got a double sacker in the house.
We got so much going on here.
How did we do that?
Let me zoom in here. Boom, boom, boom. So right now, this is going to change. Scroll up. So as you can see right now, the supply APR is at 85.75%. And like you're saying, why is this so high? So when Bank Teller set up this pool, from my understanding, there's a lot of different kind of variables you can add in, like what the borrow fee is, what the host fee percentage, these different kind of variables you can set. And I'm assuming this might be one of them, which is the interest rate curve. Let me zoom in a little bit more here. Let me know if you can see a little bit better. It's a little bit high, too big. So right here, can you see that all right, where it says 0%, 25%,
Yeah.
50%? So this is the utilization. So whenever so let's say we have 1 million USDC in this pool. Whenever only up to I think it's 80%. Yeah. If up to $800,000 of that $1 million is being borrowed, right now that's set at a roughly 13% interest rate. It slowly increases. I think it might be a linear equation right there, but it goes from 0% interest when there's none of it being borrowed. As more people borrow, it's raising the interest rate. And what happens here at a utilization rate of 80%, it starts demanding a really high variable interest rate, which is, right, it goes from 13% to, 20, 30, 40, 50. So right now we're at 84% utilization rate. So that corresponds with an interest rate of 127. So see how it gets really steep here? And what this does is it encourages people to pay back their debt, right? People say, oh, I don't want to pay that much interest per day, right? Like it hits different investors,
Sure.
tolerance that they can handle, or if they get liquidated, if back the debt they owe is more so than what they borrowed, or getting close to it, 75% of it. But anyway, to answer that question real quick, so why is the APR so high right now? A lot of people are borrowing and using this pool, and therefore the interest rate is in that kind of higher zone, that 80 to 100% utilization rate.
Okay. So there's not a real reason why they're borrowing from this pool, not another pool. Because if I was borrowing USDC, wouldn't I go for a pool that has a lower interest rate?
That would make more sense, but you would need whatever collateral is for that pool, right? So majority of these people more than likely are using Trunk as the collateral and then borrowing USDC. That's what my assumption would be, not my on-chain analytics, but why most people would use this is because they're holding the Trunk itself. But like you're saying, if you're borrowing USDC for the sake of other reasons, right, you're paying a really high interest rate. So you got to really take that in mind. Take that into account.
So Bailey, when you fund it with one-sided liquidity, you don't have any risk of losing that money, right?
Unless like the smart contract gets hacked or something like that. There's no, I'm not, I don't have any leverage or anything like that. And basically it's just, you can keep track of how much you are earning in yield every day. Basically what I'm doing is I actually have in Aave, I have Bitcoin, wrapped Bitcoin, and I'm actually borrowing USDC there. It's about 7% APY. And then I moved it over to Solana and I put it in here, and I'm making roughly on average, I think the average has been around like 80% APR like per day.
Oh, wow.
That's because I wanted to have exposure to Bitcoin. So that's the example of, like, why aren't people borrowing like USDC somewhere else? You can, if you want exposure to like another asset. But the reason this is special is you can borrow against Trunk. And if we know anything about, Trunk, it is not on any centralized exchanges, right? So it is completely governed by the X times Y equals K constant product formula there. So basically what's happening is, say if, you borrow some USDC. So say if you borrow like 30% of whatever you put in for Trunk, that's like a safe kind of borrow rate. You put in $1,000 of Trunk, and then you.
I want to interject. There's no safe borrow rate. Not 30, not 20, not 10.
No.
Because crazy stuff happens in crypto, and you might think you're taking a moderate risk position, and it quickly turns into a large risk position. I'll tell from experience, I had $100,000 worth of Ethereum. I probably borrowed about 30 grand, right? Ethereum went from 4 grand to, 2 grand or so. So down 50%, right? Get margin called, all the works. So just, I can speak, be careful with leverage.
At least you still had, yeah.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt, but go ahead. 30% is a conservative. It is conservative, but
it's conservative for crypto.
You gotta be like cognizant, because as volatile as crypto is, I just got to throw that out there. There's someone watching who I don't want them to get wrecked. Learn from my tuition costs. Yeah.
Yes. I actually saw footage of you applying for a job at McDonald's, saying that you were liquidated. So
yeah, I was telling her about it.
Didn't that happen last week?
She just said, "Oh, really?" Like she knew what I was talking about.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. But yeah, like for instance, like say if you borrowed like 30%. So you got $1,000 of Trunk, you borrow $300 in USDC, but then you take that USDC and you buy more trunk with it, right? Price of trunk goes up a little bit. You take that trunk, you deposit it back into Solend, and now you're not at 30% anymore. You have more collateral in there. Now you're at like 25%. So what can you do? You can borrow a little more USDC to go back up to 30%, buy some more trunk, constant product formula, price of trunk goes up again, right? And then you take that trunk, it's called looping, and then you put the trunk back into Solend and you're below 30% yet again. So you can keep trying to borrow a little bit and then buying more trunk and raising the price, putting it in Solend, borrowing a little more, buying some more trunks. And, that way, like if a lot of people in the herd are doing that, it's like constant buy pressure, constantly moving up like that price. And that's kind of what we're seeing is like altcoins and everything are getting absolutely slaughtered, these past few months. And trunk is just like, just moving up like 1%, 2%, 3% like every single day, because a lot of people are utilizing Solend now, especially this past month, to create like extra buy pressure. And then say if you have a bunch of trunk sitting there and lo and behold, flat tire on the car, right? You don't have to sell any trunk. You can just be like, all right, I'm just going to borrow some USDC and I'll let my trunk keep appreciating and I'll just pay for it with the stable coin. It eliminates sell pressure, and you can get that like money loop of, looping it and creating like constant buy pressure on it.
Yeah, and I think like you mentioned as well, the fact that now the herd collectively doesn't have to necessarily sell and dump their token, right, and put it back in that liquidity pool, drag us back down the curve, right? This now adds just a very, kind of like a new tool in the tool belt where now we don't have to rely on that old technology and old dumping. People who really like the protocol, really want to see these products succeed, right? They now have a new option in which they don't have to destructively,
Now, where does that put futures contracts at?
Yeah.
Are we just not thinking about that anymore, or what's going on?
Yeah. Futures is still live and running, and I think we crossed 500 days or so recently of the contract running. Right now, that's still not the focus. Right now, trunk is still the focus, the spearhead. But right, Bank Teller has made comments about the future of futures. May be up for debate. Right, it seems that the product market fit of something like this trunk USDC pool on Solend has a much greater appeal. And I think a metric he threw out there was, I believe, something like maybe you guys can quote it if you recall. I got to look in the pinned messages, but something like the amount of value that the Solend pool has created in the last 30 days is what it took futures 500 days, over a year and a half. So I think what he's leaning towards is that this Solend and this trunk and this USDC high lending, like all of this is what is the focus, and we'll see what happens with futures. But right now I think there's no official announcement yet, but it's still running.
So what's your opinion on the whole thing? If you had to choose one, if let's say you had $200 a month to DCA into, what would you put it in the futures, or would you put it into Solend?
If you only had 200, probably just buy trunk right now, as that's where all the momentum, that's where all the focus is. But if you do have a futures account, I think you definitely should maintain it, whether that be $200 once a month, or if you're trying to be more active with whatever the daily rate is. So right now I think it's like 12 days or so. So you need to compound every 12 days to keep that 0.5%. But overall, I think me personally, right now, I'm gonna kind of throw a wrench in the discussion, right? Because of all this leverage that is built up within trunk, just what goes up must come down kind of thing of with financial wisdom. I've always seen leverage gets flushed out of the system, right? Whether that be in leverage trading when Bitcoin has a correction, or etc. Right? With elephant money and with trunk, right, we're more of a community project. There's less kind of factors. It's more just individual members that will decide the fate of it. However, I think for me personally, I think there may be some sort of flush of some sort, whether that be just a really high rate that starts happening, and causes people to dump, etc., or people take profits at $1, whatever it may be. But I think often for me, I think it's not best to. I think a lot of people are greedy right now because a lot of people are bored in the market. So when they see something like this, where trunk is going up, like we mentioned, 2-3% a day, now they can actually get more trunk. Okay, yeah, I got to pay 150% APR. Like, I think all that boils a pot for a potential, something can boil over. So for me personally, I like to wait maybe for a minute here, but trunk is just showing incredible strength. So I'm still buying and holding trunk. But in terms of levering up, you don't want to be caught when the shore goes out. I'm just telling you, leverage is a dangerous tool. It's a great mistress when it's a double-sided sword. It's great when it's going great, and it's terrible when it's going the opposite way.
What about you, Bailey? What do you think?
Yeah, for me, my focus has shifted away from futures. I'm kind of done with non-liquid assets. I like to have access to my cash. And once you get used to Solend, the USDC, I made it was $500 in USDC last week.
Really?
And yeah, well, I mean, I have.
If you don't mind me, what do I have to put in to make $500 a week?
I have 25K in there.
Okay, so 25, and you make about $500 a week.
Yeah,
at the rates right now, they fluctuate up and down.
Yeah, on that average rate. But knowing that, I can make a yield like that and have access to that capital at any time, I can pull that out if I wanted to. Oh shit, all of a sudden the market is bullish. You can use that USDC for whatever you need. That flexibility to me is kind of invaluable.
Now, how are you able to pull that out immediately if people are taking that money and borrowing it?
That all depends on the utilization of the pool. And since the utilization is it's 80 something percent. And I think BT actually set it up where the max utilization on the pool is 90%. So it will never be 100% utilized.
Okay.
So you should be able to pull out. But that is, if it's at the maximum, you cannot get your money out. That's correct. If it's actually at the max utilization, that happened to some people with open leverage earlier. You have to wait until somebody pays it back. But when it is at that maximum utilization, the interest rate is really high. So chances are there will be people that start paying down their debts, and then you can kind of get out. But
what happens if someone doesn't pay down their debts? Do you still get paid because they're leverage, whatever they put on there as collateral?
Yeah, if they get too much in debt, they can get liquidated, which means that their debt actually automatically gets taken care of by a liquidator.
Okay.
And what liquidators are there to ensure the health of the contract and the
so basically there's no, other than being a hack, there's no risk, because if someone gets liquidated, you're still getting paid.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way I like to think about it, like you're saying, AG, is as the people, let's say you're waiting for your money, but it's the borrowing is just through the roof. Everyone wants trunk. I want it right now, right? You're getting paid, I think it's 277% APR at 90% utilization rate. So, right, they're just bleeding. They're just bleeding out money, and it's going to you, the lender. And essentially, it's a time game. They're trying to wait till trunk appreciates, and right, you're just getting paid for that time. So, there's no contract risk other than, like we said, catastrophic risk. But that's what's so, really, really fascinating. If you really think of it from a global perspective, this is what decentralized finance is all about, is giving this type of tooling to anyone where, hey, it doesn't matter what your credit score is or where you live. If you have collateral right here, you can now, take on leverage in different forms. But and it's anonymous, it's autonomous, right? It's just running on chain. So back to kind of your original question, which was futures or Solend, back to that product market fit, right? The market speaks for itself, no matter what individuals' opinions may be. But 27 days, it's raised X amount of dollars. This has a greater mass appeal, kind of for the reasons that Bailey mentioned, being liquid, being right in case the market turns bullish, you go back into risk on. Market turns bearish, go back to risk off. So you can just jump back in this thing. I think it really appeals to the greater DeFi cryptocurrency. Very, that's what finance is at its fundamental core, is borrowing and lending. So it goes back to the roots of even finance. So I think honestly it will be just another, we're trying to jump up and down and say futures is great, this is why, here's how it's sustainable, here's all the collateral, here's Bertha, etc. Now we can not have to use that whole, and say, hey, look, here's Solon, permissionless, get in, get out, liquid. This is it's a way easier, I think, to onboard, and for people just to get involved. It's not as cumbersome, which is so important, I think, in cryptocurrency.
I wonder why BT went with Solon and not made his own, basically clone of Solon on the Elephant Money chart or website. I mean,
they made an own borrowing and lending kind of protocol, I guess. I think what he was really trying to do is Solon's an established, it's kind of like Aave, right? So it's kind of like, do you go to, do you want to get listed at, Walmart? I'm just saying, some, large carrier. Do you want to get listed there, or have your own little e-commerce store? So if you can be, I guess, with the pack, be with the bigger eyeballs, then I think that was an established technology. He doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. He doesn't have to reinvent these contracts that are already proven.
True.
I think that's a lot of the reason why I probably went with them.
Yeah. Another thing to think about is like people that are naturally like on Solana. They're going to go to Solend just to borrow and lend. They don't even have to know anything about Elephant Money at all. They can just walk into it and be like, holy shit, like USDC is like this amount. And they can just go to Jupiter and like buy Trunk or buy USDC, and they never even have to go to the Elephant Money website. They don't know about, EMH. They don't know about, rugs to riches.
They don't know about some burpee action. They don't know
like pump it up. Like, they don't know anything, but they're there. It's like naturally there,
Gotcha.
So
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Because can you share my screen one more time, AG, if you still have that accessed up? Because I'm on right here. We've got solon.fi / all right, let's go back to the homepage. So here's the homepage. I like their little picture here of the gen. This is what they're trying to describe as, it's an autonomous borrowing and lending protocol, right? It's just a machine running. But anyway, I was going to show you, if you click pools here at the top, right? Scroll down a little bit. Number one pool, that's their, I think, their main pool thing, whatever, $300 million. But what's that number two right at the very top? That's right. It's the USDC trunk pool.
Oh, wow.
With more money in it, has 25 million, right? It's already at the top. More so than even this Turbo Sol pool, which I think is Sol and USDC. So even more so than their Solana pool, right? Trunk and the USDC pool is already out, gathered that much TVL already.
That's crazy.
And so like Bailey's saying, right, all these people don't even need to know anything about the protocol. They just know about Solend. Boom, they just go ahead and get introduced to what's this, what's that. So it's all about, especially because I know we all do this in crypto. We want to look at what's the trending in the last 7 hours, last 30 days. What's the highest APR? You can really sort through these lists when you're trying to get alpha, etc. And so the more we're at the top of the list because we're the best, like the faster the people will find us and learn.
Interesting. I'm learning every day.
Yeah. But I heard Bailey came to town with word of a new token on the block. I know it's been around for a minute, but what's got your fancy these days, Bailey?
Yeah. So, obviously, like the trunk thing, and then I got into some altcoins, and I was doing some concentrated liquidity farming, V3 style. And that was going very well until the market just took an absolute like dump on our heads. Like every single token was down like 50, 60%. Like in my portfolio, like my meme tokens, I was big on this Aerodrome Finance token, and it just got hammered to oblivion. And so I was like, all right, like this is not really panning out much anymore, you know. But I had this one kind of hidden little play stashed away, and this is actually my top conviction pick for this bullshit run that we're in right now. But
this is a family program. Please watch your language.
No, it's not. We're drinking. I see that. This is the first time I've seen Zach drink a glass of wine.
Yeah, we're after 9 p.m. Don't they like loosen up the rules?
I know. I'm just pulling at your collar. This is the after hours. Welcome in, everyone.
All right.
How's everyone doing in the chat? Before BT, I almost called you BT, Bailey. You're the other B word, Bailey. Before Bailey drops to Alpha, how's everyone doing this evening? Who's all tuning in tonight? Say hello in the chat. Sorry to interrupt, though.
Yeah, there's people in chat.
Okay, I can't see it. Like, I don't know. Do I have to go to YouTube to see that?
Maybe here. Can you see the screen?
Like,
Layla.
Hey,
Layla. Yes. Sweet. Yeah, I can't see. Like, I'm a rookie. I don't have like everything kind of set up yet, but
cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Good. Yeah. So so basically I kind of got intrigued by the thing called GambleFi. So I've always been kind of a little bit of a gambler, and I think everyone in the crypto space has some kind of tolerance towards like risk, or I think we're all kind of gambling in one form or another. And so that's actually why I kind of renamed my channel Bailey's Bets, because it could deal with all sorts of different crypto plays, you know. So the one that
I love that name, by the way. I love the logo that you made. I don't know where you made it or how you made it, but the name, the logo, everything. I was like, oh man, just a little jealous. Just a little jealous.
Yeah, I made that with AI. I was like,
okay,
like, yeah. I just started throwing out just some things to put in there, and then it's amazing. Like it comes up with hundreds of different, pictures to choose from. It's wild.
Nice.
So I got intrigued last year in 2023 by so GambleFi, and there was this token called Rollbit, and I don't know if you've heard of the Rollbit token. But basically, like Mike Dre kind of like was like, "Hey, dude, you should just check this out." And so Rollbit was an online casino that originally came out on Solana, and then after a couple years of existence, they moved over to Ethereum, and they rebranded how they did their tokenomics. And basically, they created this buyback and burn method through their like revenue and profit. So they would make like X amount of profit on their table games, X amount of profit on their sports book. And they had crazy things like you can do 1,000x leverage on certain stocks and things like that. You get liquidated in like a minute. It's ridiculous.
Sure.
But
or you change your life forever, either one.
Yeah. Yes.
I have to work for Rollbit. I'll be a shill.
Yeah. So anyways, so like I was like, all right, like that's kind of cool, because what ended up happening was you could see that, all right, like the casino makes money because people play there. They're taking that money and they're buying back the token from the liquidity pool. And what happens when that happens? They're putting ETH into the pool, they're taking out their token, and the price is going up. So while like most things were kind of crappy last year, with the exception of like Elephant, Elephant was doing really well in the bear market. All of a sudden, this Rollbit coin starts to go like parabolic, and it started to like really kind of catch everyone's attention, myself included. So, I got involved with buying some of the token, and I did some liquidity provision for it and just kind of started following it. And then I came across the project that I'm into right now. It's called TGC Casino, or TG Casino. And they were actually coming out with their pre-sale. and their pre-sale started. It was around like September or so of last year, September or October. And I started just looking into it because it had similar tokenomics, or that similar idea of the buyback and burn method, for their token. And the problem with Rollbit was, they didn't start off their token in a way that eventually melded well with what they were doing, because they actually ended up having, like, it's very centralized. Like, they actually have a lot of the supply themselves, the Rollbit team. And it's a little bit, they've been accused a little bit of like some market manipulation, because it's on like a set schedule of when all those buybacks like occur. So like there's been some shenanigans, like a lot of front running and things like that, influencing the price of the token.
This is
So
Rollbit?
yeah.
Okay.
RLB. It's on Ethereum. And so it ended up actually kind of, the luster of it kind of died off. So when I started to get into this project here at TGC Casino, and I started researching it, everything that I saw like made total sense to me. So it's a small initial supply, and it's non-inflationary. What I really liked was the team got 0 of the tokens. There was no team allocation at all. Basically, anybody on the team had to buy their way in the pre-sale, just like everybody else. So I really like that, because that makes, you know that the team wants the token to be successful and to succeed. Like, they're not getting free tokens that they can just dump on people's heads like a lot of these projects. But I noticed that the buyback and burn mechanism was there. And so I was like, all right, like, I'm going to buy some of this token in the pre-sale. So I ended up buying over $5,000 worth, because if you contributed over $5,000, you also got this NFT, this high roller NFT, which we'll talk about. So I was able to get one of those. And that's kind of how I got started with it. So I discovered it and bought into the pre-sale in November. Their pre-sale raised over like $5 million. And I've been in the community and in their Telegram group every single day since November. All right. And yes, and Layla's in there. Coin Hunter, you might know him. He's got some as well. And basically, I've been now kind of a part of the community and have been, kind of watching the team move like every day, for the past 8-9 months. And I'm like, this team is amazing. All right. So the leadership of the team, this guy's name is Pit Boss. Right.
Okay.
So the top like 3 people on the team all have CEO experience, all have marketing, experience. I cannot go to a website without seeing TG's Casino somewhere in the banner. Like, I don't know if you guys have that problem or not. Besides the marketing, like, they also have connections and Web 2 casino experience.
Okay.
And they have just crypto experience. So they know how blockchain works. They know how protocols work. They have connections in the industry. They're successful with like Web 2 casinos. So they had enough money. It was like close to like $10 million to make sure that there was enough for covering wins, because some people do get lucky and win in a casino. So they had kind of like all the backing. They were ready to rock and roll. And their big deal is to become like a major player in the space. Like, they want to at some point compete with like the names of not only Rollbit, but with Stake, which is like one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, Stake's big here in the US.
Yeah, they've been around for like 6 or 7 years. So TG Casino has been around for approximately now like 7 or 8 months, right? So it's like super new, it's super early. The chart of the token, and I'll get to that, looks like absolute, like the inverse of the trunk token. But
It's a
there's
buying
reasoning.
opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. There's reasoning behind why it looks the way it does. But it's super early, and what's nice about it is, and this is key. I go to bed like at night feeling really good about this because it is the fixed supply token, and it's non-inflationary. It's going to be deflationary, with the buyback and burn. So I know it's just going to get more scarce and rare over time. And there's a lot of really big people in the community that share this like passion and this vision for it. And that they understand that they want to be like long-term holders in the token. So there's a lot of people that are have the right kind of frame of mind, and they're not looking for like a quick dump. They know that this is actually like a longer term play, but it's going to be like very successful.
Zach, can you go back to the chart?
Yeah, I'm turning on my VPN real quick. I was going to see if I can check out the actual main website. It wasn't loading. I was assuming it may be because of my situation.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to. Depends on where you're at, but
let's see. Can you see my
home
screen
of the
now?
free, home of the free. You're not so free to go onto every website you want to. So
I can't see your screen for some reason.
That's okay. Here, let me turn off this wind screen. That's why I got my VPN on. Now, can you see my screen?
No.
Give it a couple more seconds here, and I'll try again. Maybe one moment here. Let me refresh. That's really cool, Bailey. That's a lot of good information. My first question I was going to ask, you mentioned, or I think AG mentioned stake.us, which is probably one of the biggest online casino, whatever places people play online. I heard they recently started their own streaming website called Kick. I think it's kick.com, kick.tv. And a majority of those streamers are simply there to promote stake.us. Does TGC, Telegram Casino, is it TGC or TCG? I always know. TGC.
Telegram. Yep.
Does TGC have an official streamer yet for their site? If not, can you or me be that sponsored athlete? Or AG?
Yes. Yeah, so right now they're on their roadmap. They've been killing their roadmap. Right now they're at that point where they're starting their streamer program, and they do have their first official streamer. His name is DGen Daddy, and so he started about a couple weeks ago, and he's actually on Kick. Some of the marketing that they're doing is pretty cool. They're on X. They have a good following on X. They've recently expanded to TikTok, so they're actually on TikTok. They hit up all the different like crypto websites with banner ads and all that kind of stuff. They signed on to one of the biggest football teams in Europe, AC Milan. They're actually the e-gaming sponsor to AC Milan football. So basically, when the new season starts of football or soccer, you're going to be able to see TG Casino ads kind of like everywhere, on the field and all that. So they're really good with different sponsorships, and they're very strategic. The reason why they chose like Telegram was they're looking at this globally, and there's a lot of places in the world where people don't even have computers or desktops, but what do they have? Like, well, they have a cell phone. Yeah, so they have cell phones, they have internet access. So they actually have different marketing strategies for different countries. The reason they chose Telegram was it has over 1 billion users, or like close to that, and it's projected to even grow to like 1.5 billion users.
It's starting
And
to grow
so
more now that they have that Telegram token. What's it called? Tron or Ton or
Tron,
something like that? Ton, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so more and more people are kind of getting involved in Telegram and in crypto. It's really big, like in Russia and all that stuff. So they're really trying to get to like a lot of different like underrepresented like markets and get a lot of market share in the space. So they're really good at like strategically kind of laying out, and they want to build the brand. So one of the things that you're going to notice is like, all right, like the chart itself like doesn't look like super impressive. Like it's like a downward facing dog flag. I don't know. I'm not that good with like PA, something like
Can I
that.
tell you? Can I say something real quick about the chart?
Yeah.
If you scroll up a little bit, no, on the side, the right hand side, look at the liquidity. The liquidity looks crazy high. $1 million in liquidity, and the market cap's only 3 million. So a third of the market cap's just straight liquidity.
I don't know if that market cap is necessarily accurate. It should be more around, I would say like 15 million-ish or so.
Okay.
Yeah, because the supply right now, it started off with 100 million tokens, and actually close to 16 million have already been burned. So it's down to like 84 million and change. And so if you do that, like 84 million times right now, the token's around like 14 cents. I think somebody in the comments said like around 12 or
12,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely low. It's definitely low market cap, but
Well, I don't think that's low compared to the. Well, I'm sorry. I think it's low market cap, but not the liquidity isn't low by any means.
no, it's not too bad for a newer project that is, that's just launched about 6 months ago or so.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But one of the things that you do look at though is with the liquidity is that when you can have like lower volume here, and it actually moves the price like quite a bit, right? Like if you look at it, like you have 51,000 buys, 39,000 sells, so that's only like a 12K difference, and you're up like 11%. When the team decides to like sneeze on this chart, like it's going to go parabolic yet again. What's happening actually is they've been very frugal with their buyback and burn, and they've been very kind of transparent with the community, and they're like, hey, look, like right now we're kind of like in our growth phase, like, and we're kind of like a growth company where we're more focused right now instead of sharing the profits as frequently and buying back and burning the token as frequently. We're investing in these partnerships. We're investing in like AC Milan, the marketing. We're trying to grow the brands and kind of flush out the player base
Mhm.
before we're concerned with just like the price of the token. And that kind of shows you that they're really into it for like the longer term. And you can, like, the proof is in the pudding, right now. Like I'm subscribed to their news channel, and so far they actually have $1.45 billion worth of wager
Oh
that
wow!
is through, that was just released yesterday. And right now they have 24,000 players.
I tell you
And
what, I've jumped on there and I've played last week, and it was a blast. It was one of the most easy, streamless ways of playing. I was playing roulette on the Telegram app, and it was amazing. And it's all crypto, so you just deposit your BNB or your Ethereum or your TGC tokens, which is what I did originally. And now I went to BNB because I ended up losing, but it's all right.
yeah. Yeah, it's very easy to play. It's very seamless. You can play on your phone. They have it on the desktop now, and you can also play through Telegram on the desktop if you have Telegram desktop. I like to play on the computer just because it's a larger screen for me. But yeah, it's very easy. And one of the things that's like awesome that I didn't realize is their sports book where you can bet on sports. Um,
Yeah, see
there's
right
like
there,
there are live games.
they are live. I love it.
Yeah, there's the live casino games, but there's actually like if you go into the sports book, right?
Yeah.
I was like, my wife wanted the TV during the NBA finals to watch a couple of the like different shows that she was watching, and I was like, I want to see the Celtics and Mavericks. I just hopped into like TG Casino into their sports book, and it said like live on the NBA game, and I just click it, and it goes right to the game. You can like watch the game. Yeah, you can watch like cricket. You can watch like as long as it has this little live next to it. And I think most casinos have like the same sports book. I don't think that's unique to TGC, but it was like a nice little added like
yeah.
cool
So,
like
could you
feature.
watch a pay-per-view fight for free on their if you make a bet or something?
If you don't even have to make a bet, you can just go in there and look at it. And if
wow.
it says live, like, did you just do that, Zach?
I'm just actually like on their Twitter page right now.
Okay.
Actually on the website. So.
Yeah, so that was I thought that was like a cool kind of like feature to it. But yeah, so here's the scoop, guys. All right. The team is really good. The tokenomics, look, it's a low fixed supply that's deflationary. Already 16% of the supply is gone. I myself, full transparency here, all right, am a whale in this protocol. All right. I have over 1% of the supply.
Nice.
I have been DCAing like a madman. Every time like this was under anytime it was under like 20 something cents, I was like, there's going to be so much value here like in the future. All right. Why? Okay. So here's the scoop, guys. So with a token, you have to have some kind of like utility or like demand driver, right? Like why would people even care about this token, want this token? What's nice about this is I think the model is easy to understand, right? People go in, casino makes money, and the casino is eventually going to buy back and burn their token, which increases the value and scarcity. And they're doing this thing called revenue sharing, right? So I kind of always dreamed. Yeah, I always kind of dreamed. I was like, all right, I'm going to be like the house, right? So they have kind of this built-in demand driver for their token for both gamblers and then for people that just aren't interested in gambling in the casino, but want to invest and make money or get some of like the profit share, like dividends paid to them. So for gamblers, if you wager with the TGC token and you incur like a net loss for the week, they actually airdrop you back 25% of your funds that following Tuesday. So if I go into TGC casino and I bring the TGC token with me, $1,000, and over the course of the week, say if I lose $1,000, right, that next Tuesday, $250 will be sitting in my account again. And I can be like, all right, like I'll try to play again, right? Even if you don't lose all your money, like say if you lose $100, right? You bet on a game, you lost $100, they're going to throw $25 back at you, the nenext week. That kind of cash back, 25% cash back is like unheard of in the industry. And the pit boss was like, I got to monitor this because this is really generous and everything, but it's turned out to be like a good deal for them so far as that goes. So that's one kind of demand driver. Now they have these things called seasons. where it's kind of like a gambling competition,
Okay.
and up for grabs is a certain amount of money, right? So this is what turned me into a degenerate gambler. Um, like it was like the beginning of May or like April, they had season 2, part 2 of their airdrop campaign. So they had these. So basically, how they've been distributing the token to the public, besides the pre-sale, is they've been giving a lot of the tokens as airdrop rewards to the community, but you had to earn them through like playing in the casino. So there was this competition where you got credit for every single dollar that you wagered in the casino times the number of consecutive days that you played. And this thing was over 45 days. Guess what? I played 45 days because I couldn't miss a multiplier.
Sure.
But up for grabs was $1 million in ETH. But then there was also another $500,000 in ETH, eligible only to people that played with like the TGC token.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to play with the TGC token because then I can get into both of those pools and be eligible for up for $1.5 million worth of rewards.
Hey, strategy,
So, like,
strategy right there, baby.
yeah, but the thing that's crazy is like so many people were just went nuts. So like they kind of know how to like generate like action, you know, and revenue and volume for their site. But what was nice was so that competition ended, and that airdrop is going to be paid out 33% in June, which we got, and then July, and then August. So I got 2.09 ETH airdropped to me in June. So it's about like $6,500. And then I'm going to get another 6,500 airdrop to me this month, and then another 6,500 airdrop to me like next month.
Yay.
It's nutty. Yeah. Yeah, but I sold my soul to like do that because it was like, but now they have season 3 going, and they've upped it to now $2 million of rewards. And there's extra incentive. A part of those rewards are only eligible if you're betting with like that TGC token. So you can get the cash back, and you can get, all these different bonuses. Did I lose at the casino? Yeah, I made a significant donation back. Yes. So, but that is why this next part is you also can be, instead of a gambler, you can also be the house, right? And they say like, the house always wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Like in the long run, like all these games are designed primarily for entertainment. You know, you're like, yes, you can win and lose, but if you keep playing long enough, usually the odds and the mathematics will catch up to you. But the house here, like, how can I kind of partake in that, right? So right now they have staking, and they have they started off with a 10-day pool. So you lock up your tokens for 10 days and you get a certain APR, a 90-day pool and a 180-day pool. And the 90-day pool and the 180-day pool are both kind of sitting around like 40% like APR. And you get TGC token until the token actually runs out, right? Because they've kept some from the initial supply, and that's how they're feeding the emissions. But since it's a non-inflationary token, eventually that will run out, and they're going to replace that with like Ethereum.
Oh, really? Now, so you'll get paid out in Ethereum.
Yeah, right now the 180-day the 180-day pool gets half of the reward is in TGC token, and half of it is actually in Ethereum. So they load up and they put Ethereum in there, and that gets dripped out to everyone that's in the that staking pool. So I've been making close to about like $150 a day just from staking in the casino. Now on top of that,
how much have you put in for staking? How many tokens do you need?
well,
Is
you
that personal?
no. So I am like, what percent of supply was kept back for staking? I can look that up. I can look that up in a minute. But yeah, so I have a significant portion. I have like 800,000 tokens. So, but I've been DCAing and getting them just cheap. Like every time it's like in the teens, I'll buy another couple thousand, just put it in.
So let me tell you this story. Zach, you'll like this. So
I'm ready.
I got into it about 4 weeks ago, and I bought 23,000 tokens. I can't remember when. I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. 23,000 tokens is about like $4,000. It was like at 13 cents a token. I took 3,000 tokens, moved it over to TG, started playing. It was roughly $600. I took it up to $2,000, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good." The next morning, I get on. I'm up $2,000 from 600. I take that $2,000 all the way down to $200. I'm like, "Fuck, I'm pissed." Excuse my language. So I go.
What were you playing when you ran it up?
Roulette. I've got a strategy with roulette.
Roulette.
A couple different strategies I got. So I'm mad at myself. I'm like, I can't believe I took it all the way down to $2,000 or 200. So I go to the bathroom at work, and I'm sitting on the toilet playing. And I'm like, yes, I'm back up to $2,000. Yes.
Dang, on the toilet? You ran it
on
back
the toilet
up
within like, I don't know, 7 minutes.
Holy
So then I get back in, I'm doing my work, and then I get in my truck, and I have to go to Orlando, and there's Orlando traffic. So I'm sitting there on the interstate, and I got TG on my phone. So I'm sitting there playing while I'm driving in traffic. Dude, I got that thing up to $8,000. I took $4,000 out, moved it out. So now, I invested $6,000, took $4,000 out, and I started playing for the rest of the day. 4:00 in the afternoon hits. I'm up to $16,000 again.
Holy smokes, bro!
Oh,
what a run! Nice.
And then everybody at the office is like, "Bro, take some profit. I'm like, I've already took profit, $4,000. I'm good.
You were telling everybody, guys, I've been gambling all day in my car, and I'm up $16,000.
I've got a strategy, guys. I've got a strategy. Can't lose. An hour later, I lost it all.
No,
but I still took out $4,000.
Okay, that's a W. But it turned on a dime like that. All of a sudden,
it just turned like that.
Lose.
I think it was, the way my strategy is, you have to have enough money for your next bet.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the bankroll to get to your next bet, then you're screwed.
I think I know what happened. I think Bailey called Pit Boss and said, "Hey, there's this guy just killing it at the casino right now. Turn him off." And Bailey sent Pit Boss on you.
I played on a couple other casinos online, and I felt like they were scamming you. Okay, they flagged your account. Okay, let's get another table guy, and he can put the ball exactly where you're not betting.
You really think so? I think so.
I think so.
You have that level of paranoia. You're funny, man.
Listen, I've been to the Hard Rock, and I was up like $3,000. And they brought in a new guy to the table. His name was Benjamin.
Never forget it.
They I won't forget it because they rotate their
Benjamin in here.
That's
So the pit boss, she scans my card. She starts asking me, "Hey, do you want any free drinks? They're on me if you want any free drinks." Dude, it's like $20 a drink at the Hard Rock. And when they're giving you free drinks, that means they're trying to get you liquored up to try to screw you. I was like $3,000 up, and they brought in Benjamin. Well, Benjamin's never been in that little section. You know, they rotate every 20 minutes. They rotate. Well, Benjamin comes out of nowhere and comes in, and he starts putting that ball in every freaking dozen that I'm not playing. It's pissing me off, dude. And I was like, "Come on, Benjamin, what are you doing to me?" And he goes, "Trying to bring you back down to earth, buddy." That's what he says to me.
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, I'm cashing out."
Yeah.
I was with my buddy. I was like, "Watch this. I'm going to cash out, and it's going to land right on the dozen that I'm playing." And sure enough, it did. I'm like,
Yeah.
"This guy."
So Bailey, that's a lot of good information about TGC. What do you feel? You know, like you mentioned, it sounds like it's really good utility. Sounds like they have incredible offers that other casinos don't have, such as that 25% rebate. That is unheard of. Like if I, you know, people who are legitimate gamblers, like I don't know where else I would go if I heard there was a casino in town that offers such that, you know, because sometimes you have winning weeks, sometimes you have losing weeks. And to have that kind of insurance on deck, that's super, you know, if you're into gambling, that's something that seems super appealing. What do you feel that is, I guess, it's very new. Like you said, it had its initial kind of launch. It's only 6 months old. You know, what do you think it's going to take to get to the next level to really have it be a dominant player in the online casino space?
Yeah. So right now, I think one of the things that will help is once the chart starts looking a little more juicy, you know, that'll get like on more people's like radar, you know, like green candles are like, ooh, you know,
Yeah.
and because like once people start discovering this, and it's not going to take a lot of capital to really move the price up because the liquidity is only like 1 million. And so why the chart kind of looks the way it does is there was like an initial like FOMO. And I was like, dude, like I was telling everybody about this, like, you got to get in, you got to get in. And it went up like right away to something like, it was like 80 something cents. But what I discovered, because this is the first time I've really been significantly engaged in a project, like right from the start, right from the pre-sale.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've discovered is it takes time to actually, you know, release like the token and then have the tokenomics eventually like mature and kick in. So basically, like every single time, like there's a lot of sell pressure initially because they've had the early bird season, and they had season 1. And then they had season 2, part 1. So all of their competitions where they airdrop tokens, they're releasing a lot of those tokens just out into the market, right? So what's going to happen is naturally there's going to be sell pressure like on the token. In addition to that, you know, people have been in staking for a long time. So naturally there's some people that are selling the token, you know, their token rewards for that passive income. So there's been a lot of sell pressure as the initial supply of the tokens have been being distributed for what they were earmarked for. Somebody did ask how much was earmarked for the staking rewards. Initially, it was 20% of the supply. They've moved some things around a little bit. Yeah, so it's initially it was 20%, but they've made adjustments along the way. Like one of the things they did was for that season 2, part 2 airdrop, they're like, you know what? We're not going to be giving out the TGC token. We're going to be doing Ethereum. The season 3, they're going to be doing Ethereum, right? So they've recognized that there is a lot of sell pressure initially on the price when all of these tokens are getting released, right? And they're kind of like not really worried about the price because they're like, you know what, guys, like we're in it for the long haul. We are investing in marketing right now. So the buyback and burns, they don't actually have on a set schedule yet. Same with the revenue share. So there is actually revenue share as well, which means they'll actually take a portion of revenue, like $500,000 or so. They've done this once so far, and they will actually airdrop that to everyone that's in the staking pool. So like,
Really?
hey, if I had 1% of the staking pool, I'd get 1% of that revenue share.
Wow.
Now the goal is eventually to make both the staking and those the revenue share portion and the buyback and burns more regular once the casino is older. But as it is only like 6-7 months old, they're investing a lot of their profits just trying to build the brand and get more
Sure.
players.
Building the business.
Yeah, and one of the things they said too was some people were like, well, like Rollbit like has it on a schedule, like when this is going to happen, when they're going to buy back and everything. And they're like, we're never going to tell you when we're buying back because they don't want to like have market manipulation. Like they kind of do it like stealth, low key, and then like Pit Boss will send it to like the burn address, and then like he'll put it in the news and whatnot. So they're really cognizant with like how the game is played and how it works. And one of the things though that really kind of gives me that nice kind of release as well is like the team didn't get any free tokens. They had to buy in on their own. So all of like the moderators, all like the floor men and floor lady who's like awesome that are in like the Telegram chat, like they all have a stake in the success of this. Right. So, everyone's kind of working towards, eventually getting this like up and going.
Yeah, throwing my 2 cents, kind of like you were mentioning earlier, how they had the first streamer. Like it sounds like they have a very strong business model, and like you mentioned, there's 24,000 players. Right now, I was just looking. It looks like there's about 3,500 holders on Ethereum. Would that be the largest chain holders with Ethereum? Is that the most accurate?
Yeah, Ethereum. Yep, they're only on Ethereum. So that's one of the things that's interesting was one thing I would recommend would be like, all right, how can we get more people playing actually with the token? Because a lot of people, they'll go in, they might see a banner ad or whatever, and they actually don't play with the TGC token. And they're playing with Solana or they're playing with ETH. So trying to expand like how many people hold the token would be kind of like a good, one kind of strategy where I would say that they could work a little more on.
Yeah, I still, my vote is for them to pay Bailey Betts $5,000 a month to be the sponsored casino athlete, and you stream once a week on Telegram Casino. Because like I said, on like you mentioned, Kick, on even Twitch, I see so many people just spending all their time on stake.us. I see so many shorts in my YouTube shorts of the Plinko and all that kind of mess. I don't even use stake.us, but the fact that I look up gambling content like poker and other stuff, sometimes like all that stuff will come onto my feed. So I feel like you mentioned, it's just about getting the word out to the gambling community. One thing I was going to mention too, I don't know if I still have an example. Let me pull it back up. This is something you might want to mention in the, or maybe I can mention in the Telegram where you mentioned it up. Like you mentioned the banner ads. I see them often on Deck Screener specifically. However, when I click it, it doesn't go anywhere. Let me see if I can pull up where I get one. Right now I'm getting this bio. Futureverse, no. Bio, not that. Whatever that word is. I was just going to mention, though, yeah, this little banner ad on Deck Screener. Whenever I click it for TGC, I don't get taken to the website. I don't know if that's the US issue.
It might be because you don't have a VPN on. Do you have any insight of when they're going to launch in the US?
I know they have. They actually have a global casino bot. So like you can do a global one, but the number of games it has, it's like very, very limited. Like they only have like one or two like providers. So US is they got things locked down pretty tight.
Yeah, I know there's things like Bovada, which a majority of like
Do they cheat? I got on their website.
really, you think Bovada's sus?
I do, because I was winning nonstop, and then all of a sudden, guys like looking at. First of all, when you're playing roulette, the table guy, what do they call him? I don't know. The table attendant.
yeah,
I don't know. Anyways,
yeah,
you're not supposed
the
to.
dealer.
The dealer. There you go. The dealer for roulette. They're not supposed to look at the wheel. They're supposed to look away, flip it. Ding, you know. Well, at them, when I started losing, I started noticing that they're looking at it and then flipping the ball. So they can put that ball in certain sections. I'm telling you, man.
I believe, like you're saying, sometimes they can aim for a section and maybe they can get it, but there is so much chaos involved.
So-
like I don't know how.
So a couple things to kind of ease your mind, I would say, is a lot of these online casinos, they all have like similar providers.
Mhm.
Like one of the big ones that I would go to is Evolution Gaming. So, or there's another one called Pragmatic Play. Those are like the two kind of big ones. And basically, and this is what scared me a little bit, but you go into like say, hey, I want to play live roulette, right? You click the Evolution Gaming roulette, and there'll be like 4,000 people at the table.
Oh, okay.
Now
So,
there's not 4,000 people in TGC Casino,
yeah,
but like they're all getting fed into this one table. So it's like when you have so many people playing and they're betting all sorts of different things, like they're not like targeting like one specific like
Sure.
individual.
So
That's why I would only play like those live tables. I don't trust like a like because then you can go in to do like a video one and it's like just you on there. I don't trust that like at all. But
yeah,
I will say that with TGC Casino, the team is like super nice. So like you go into Telegram, it's really cool. Like you'll see all these wins pop up, like big like slot machine wins and everything, and people are always like congratulating each other. They take like the business very seriously. Like you win, you do not have to worry about getting your money. Like someone won $1 million,
Wow.
and they paid him right out. I've withdrawn, like I had like $30,000. I withdrew it and it was in my wallet in a matter of like 30 seconds, no questions asked. So it's kind of like they understand if they want to actually be like a major player, like they're not playing little rinky-dink games with people. Like they treat people well and with respect and everything. And it's a funny community too. Like they like to joke around. So a lot of people that are hanging out in the Telegram group, and they've tried like different casinos. They're like, I kind of like the vibe of this place, like the team's pretty cool. They always have at least 2 moderators in the Telegram group at all times, helping people if they have issues and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really well run organization. I know most of them are from the UK. They're not like officially doxed, but I know that some people, they're known in the casino industry. Like they do have connections and everything, but they're not like openly like a doxed team. But
sure.
But
So-
you can talk to them so easily. Everyone is accessible like every day in their Telegram group and everything.
Bailey, I got your screen share up. Do you want to kind of give us a rundown of the website, and maybe you don't have to play, but maybe show us some of the live games to show people?
Yeah, sure. So, yep. So here's the casino itself, and you have all.
And this is on Telegram, right?
This is actually on the web.
Oh.
It'll look similar in Telegram. But yeah, so like for instance, you got your slots, you got the live casino, blackjack, baccarat, roulette, the sports book. All of that is available. If you go to just tg.casino, This is what will come up if you want to check out the like the tokenomics or anything. There is this token page, and then you can get like the white paper, all that information. If you end up buying the token, you can buy the token off of, it's on Uniswap on the Ethereum network. And let me tell you guys this, a lot of people got scared off at the beginning, and rightfully so, with like the gas cost. They're like, oh my God, like it's on Ethereum mainnet, like I'm not touching it or whatever. Gas has been like super cheap. The last couple months, like it's been a lot better. And you know, like it's been like a transaction has not,
It's like $8 or less lately.
yeah, like the other day when I bought some, it was like a $2 gas fee. It was really reasonable, so that shouldn't be a reason to kind of like scare you off. But then here's like the staking page.
I wonder how well that works as a metric in terms of, you know, buy when, you know, transaction fees are low in terms of, you know, buying Ethereum or maybe any of these tokens. And then right when network fees get high again, when all these people are showing up to the party late, right? Maybe you should sell then. I'm just saying, I wonder how that back tests. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry about the casino
Oh,
layout.
that's okay. And another thing that's like really cool is, and it kind of shows you like the trust in kind of the project and the long-term prospects, is like we're at an all-time high for the percent of the TGC token that's actually like staked. So there's like 64% of the tokens that are out there right now are actually locked up like in these staking contracts and the staking pools. The one thing that I want to kind of alert everybody to is the 180-day pool. So the 6-month pool actually unlocks next week in 1 week's time. So like I have an unlock date of July 15th. So that could be a situation once those unlock that there could be some additional sell pressure, right?
Next week.
Yeah,
so the calendars, buy on the 15th, guys, buy the dip.
That's
so, but I don't know, because Pit Boss comes out and he says in this newscast today, the next 7 to 10 days is going to be fascinating. Do you believe? So he's always got like some kind of little trick up his sleeve. Like he might drop like a revenue share where, you know, if you unstaked, maybe you lose out, or he might drop one right beforehand to kind of encourage people to stay in. I don't know. But once it unlocks, it basically means you can take your tokens out if you want to. So I'm kind of like standing by, and like I could potentially see another little dip. But then after that, it's kind of like I don't think the token can go much lower, because there's a lot of people that are like, hey, I'm going to scoop this up. Because check this out. Like I have right now like 809,000 tokens, right? So far through this staking, guys, like I've earned through the emissions 42,600 TGC tokens.
Dang.
And I've earned close to 2 ETH.
Wow.
So and that's
out of all the tokens that you own, how many do you have staked versus not staked?
I have everything staked.
Everything staked. Okay.
Because I believe in the project, and I am going on, my strategy is going to be, I am the house, and I am going to be just collecting the staking rewards and going to be collecting the revenue shares that should become more and more frequent as the casino progresses, right? Some of the casinos that are out there now have already been out there for like 4 years, 5 years. Stake has been like 6, 7 years. And this team has that kind of long-term mindset. They're not like a quick kind of pump and dump. They're going to be around for a long time. So
it's a legit business.
Yeah. So I'm looking at it more as, instead of like trying to flip the tokens, looking at it as I'm going to use it as like a passive kind of income machine. And
Yeah,
I know like eventually
what do
the
you?
token price will appreciate, but right now I don't mind the token price being low because I'm just trying to generate a percentage
Yeah,
of the asset of the
yeah.
dividends.
You're a long term investor.
Yeah,
So you said 14,000 tokens in 180 days from staking.
42,000.
42,000. Okay, so that's like 7 grand.
Yeah,
Right.
and then 2 ETH.
At that, yeah, at this
Yeah,
price and 2 ETH.
yeah, yeah. But
And what
I have a lot of the token because I
Yes.
definitely have been DCAing over time, and it's like one of my top conviction plays.
Hmm.
Now, here's the thing: like you have to have like I have to have faith and trust in the team that those revenue shares are going to become more frequent, right?
Sure.
And the staking, once the TGC token dries up, that it gets replaced with like the Ethereum, and it's still at a good like APY and everything. But that's where like my being a community member for 9 months and seeing the team, they've kept their word on every single thing. They're top notch quality team. They're professional and they really do things the right way and they treat people the right way. So like I have like the faith and like I have kind of like that trust that this is going to be like a success long term.
Sure.
and, and kind
And
of
I
looks
will,
like it's almost retraced kind of towards the pre-sale price. I was going to ask, how much was the pre-sale price per token?
yeah, it is totally in the pre-sale price. The pre-sale started at 12 cents and ended at 19 cents.
Oh,
So
nice.
this is really the bottom, like like you're mentioning, like if this is a solid, proven business model, 24,000 users, already over $1 billion wagered in the last 6 months. It's like if you're any time to get into it, like this is a very solid floor. It looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it basically I got mine for 6 cents because I bought it for 13 cents and I bought like 23,000 and now I have 50,000 because I was gambling with it.
Yeah, you won.
Yeah, because I won.
That's awesome. Yeah,
So
so your cost basis is like super cheap.
super cheap.
Yeah. And so this is kind of like one of those Warren Buffett like value investor type deals where it's like,
Nice.
dude, like the revenue's there, the profit's there, like,
And it's
and it's
the
on it's on your
tokenomics, supply and
because
demand.
yeah, because I noticed that people in crypto are kind of crazy. Like they'll sell this token and buy some like air like meme coin,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
that
unfortunately there's a saying, scams pump the hardest, right? It always seems to be the
yeah,
coins with no utility, no future, no real reason, all of a sudden have all the liquidity or hype. But yeah, something like this with like you mentioned, a Warren Buffett kind of solid, very solid foundations, very solid fundamentals. It's like you're picking up you're buying the ketchup, you're buying the railroad companies, you're buying the boring businesses that make money and are going to be here tomorrow.
So so let's get to the brass tacks. What do you think the price prediction is going to be in the next 12 months? We got this bull run coming.
AG wants the scoop. I mean, he wants the big double scoop.
So I just did some like napkin math, right? And I would say that between buy over sell and ETH price appreciation. That's another thing. It's paired with ETH with like all these, that's long term, I think, bullish with like the ETFs coming out and everything.
Mhm.
But if the token gets to about like $1 million, one more $1 million buy over sell will be past like the all-time high already.
Wow.
So it'll be
That's
over like the 80 something cents. And
So
that's like
so
super doable.
$1 million put into it would put it
Yep.
over.
And
It'd
that
be
it'll
90
be over
cents.
that 80 something cent threshold for sure. Yep.
I don't
And
want to hype up too much, but we have been known for rugs to riches after discussing certain projects to have pretty large pumps coming afterwards. We have quite the number of whales who tune in each week, so shout out to those silent whales.
Suck.
But
Yeah.
that's peanuts, like you're saying, for $1 million of buy pressure over sell. Like that's
Mhm.
peanuts, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, this is like it was such a no-brainer. Like, it's a no-brainer for me because it's like everything just makes sense, and the team is really good. That's the one thing. Like, they're not shady at all. What I would encourage people doing, if they are like interested in this at all, join their Telegram group and just like hang out in there a little bit and just kind of like watch, see the vibe, see how business is conducted, and like wait a week, see what happens with that unlock, right? And then make a decision there if like it seems like something that you'd want to get involved in and whatnot. But you'll see that it's a really good vibe. They have tons of support for everybody. Another thing is like they pride themselves on like if there are games that you can adjust like the return to player, so like how generous it is, they have it at the maximum. They want people to have a good time. So it's something that I've been involved with now for like 9 or 10 months, and like I'm super comfortable with the team. All the there's a lot of regulars in there, and like the biggest whales in there are like all friendly to the project. They understand that it's more of a long-term project. It's not a meme coin, and everyone's really looking forward to more of the buy and burns and the revenue share and getting that up and running. But people understand that you have to build it as a legitimate business, so it's like it's patience, and that kills a lot of people in crypto. They're like, oh man,
They want it now.
patience, like this token price is down, like they're looking at the chart like day to day, and so it's like, no, like you gotta understand and trust like what's happening here. So
Bailey, I don't think Zach's ever seen the live casino thing. Can you go into on your screen like Monopoly or Mega Money, like one of those fun
yeah,
ones where that's live? Zach,
yeah.
you're gonna like this. This is pretty funny.
Oh, okay. Let's see what they got. This ain't no boring.
No, man, it's fun. It's like a
three-
talk show. It's like a game show host.
This ain't no 3-card poker boring table here. This is
No,
some
it's
special
fun.
games here.
Oh, was it? See, I might have to.
While you're pulling this up, that
Actually,
it's always been one of my interests in, like you're mentioning, owning equity in like a casino, right? Like you're
Mhm.
mentioning, the house always wins, and there's never been, once again, until crypto, an easy way for just an individual to have revenue share capability, to have, right, you can stake and then potentially be earning what the casino's earning, right? The only real insiders who get that kind of special treatment are people who work in the casino industry, have very lucrative positions that are probably rare to find. So it's always interested me in the DeFi space to find like a DeFi casino. And I had there's just one project back in the day, but there's been, like you mentioned, multiple cryptocurrency kind of casinos. But I was in one where they were selling NFTs for equity, kind of in the platform. But the issue they had was acquiring active users. So that's always the the $1 million question. And it seems like Telegram Casino, with their team, with their already history of 6 months right now, having 24,000 players, it's like that's the main problem, right? Is having active people who like your casino. So
Do that Mega Ball one. Sorry.
definitely interesting.
For Crazy Time. Crazy Time is a fun one.
crazy.
Dang,
Yeah,
AG knows all these games. He should be.
Dude, it's fun. I just like it
It's
because it's just entertaining to watch these people. I don't know if
Whoa, what is this? He's like,
Yeah,
The
dude,
Price
it's-
is Right? What the
yes.
Oh my days, number 2.
We can have.
heck? Hey,
There'll be
No.
people. It's like a game show. Like they could live out their childhood fantasy of being
Is
like
it
a
okay
game
chatting
show,
with moderators?
host,
Of
yeah.
course. He still does his job,
You gotta
guys.
start streaming
And he
this,
does it
AG.
very
Let's
well.
get TGC
So
to
yeah,
sponsor
awesome.
that's so
It
close.
literally is awesome.
Be like,
Crazy Time.
we'll be the.
They
fans.
actually have. So this is Evolution Gaming. So they have like right now there's like 58,000 people in here playing all sorts of different games. and you're a degenerate, right? When I would log into a baccarat table, there would be like 500-600 people at that table, and they go, "Hey, welcome, Bailey." Like,
Oh no!
it was like,
Yeah, that
oh
means
my
they
god,
know.
I'm flagged as some kind of like, whale VIP. Like, oh my gosh,
Oh my
again,
gosh!
That's funny.
it's hilarious. But they got
It's
crazy
dude. It's fun. This is a fun website. Like
football studio dice.
it's like
Indeed,
a
that is
game
a
show.
fun
It's,
website.
Oh yeah, Deal or No Deal. Like it's
What? You can
they
play
got
Deal
all
or No Deal?
yeah,
yeah.
they got
I
all
have a
sorts
true
of crazy
story.
stuff
I have a
going on.
true story. I
Big
picked
Air.
the $1 million
What
case
game
the
they use it
first
for?
time I played Deal or No Deal on CBS.com, whatever, like
Oh, really?
2010. I was like, let's go.
Let's
There's the
see.
Monopoly.
Yeah,
Monopoly's they're all the same.
There's
Maybe
tons of
AG
games.
next week we might need to be playing a game of this while we're doing the Rugs
I'll
to
have to get
Riches.
TG on my computer, and then we'll play.
All right. I'm
That'd
still
be
blown away.
awesome.
You ran up $16,000 in traffic on this website. It's wild, bro. That's wild.
Dude, from $600 to taking out $4,000 and then up to 16 grand. Dude, I had 111,000 tokens, and I started with, I don't know, 3,000 tokens. It was a lot.
That's wild.
Now,
It
so
was fun.
you have actually participated in season 3. So at the end of this, you will actually get some kind of airdrop.
All right.
Hey, you might get it $600 back,
Might not be a
bro.
large portion because you have to play every day, and there's been people that have been putting up millions of dollars of volume in one day.
Yeah.
Holy
It's crazy. Like
I
betting
played
like
for,
$5,000 a hand at blackjack and stuff. It's wild.
yeah, I did it for like 5 days.
Yeah. But I would say this, make sure with gambling, it's only fun and it's only money that you can afford to lose.
100%.
And that way it keeps it fun, and if you feel like you're doing it too much, you gotta cool down and
I
you
think
gotta
of it
take
like this. You have a budget, you
seriously
go
as
into it. Yeah. You go into it with a budget and say, hey, I have X amount of dollars. I'm expecting to lose it all, but it's entertainment. It's my entertainment. It's like admission to a movie. This is what it's going to cost me. And
I was gonna take my rent and put it on here. It sounds like I could follow your steps, AG, and make it happen.
That's funny. You gotta have a strategy. So my strategy is the Fibonacci numbers. You ever
I remember, yeah, we went through this. We'll have a roulette stream sometime so you can demonstrate live. We should do it on TGC and let's see you run it up. Let's see you do it again, huh? Let's see you do it again.
Listen, next week we'll do it. And Golden will be on here too. So he'll want to. Bailey, do you want to come back next week?
Yeah, I'll have to check my schedule, but if I can, yeah, for sure.
You got the summer off. What do you mean?
Dude, I'm a slave to kids, man.
I
I never know what's going on. But
he's always educating the next generation, whether it be math or gambling or ownership and in business.
Let me tell you what.
Gotta show the people the way.
Goldwyn and I both decided to do a YouTube channel because of you two. We watched both of your channels. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. And now I think you have more subs. You guys are on fire right now. What do you have for subs?
We're at 1,700, I think, something like that.
That's
almost 1,800. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
We had a big growth spurt, but then it slowed down. I think it's because of the crypto summer. So
yeah.
I don't know.
But we're talking about the hottest projects. All the real ones are tuning in, so you got to know.
Yeah.
Got to follow the Rugs to Riches. We're gonna show you the way. Hey, you can win a bunch of money at the casino. Go stake it in Solana. Be earning that cash. Get ready to buy the Bitcoin dip. Man, you're just cashing out all across the market.
That's the thing I've been screwing with my head. I'm like, do I put USDC into Solana or do I put it into coins like TGC where it's low right now? The market's down. I should be buying coins. That's my personal opinion.
It's I would say this because I had that same dilemma, right? I think everyone always does. I think you should start a very small bag of USDC, even if it's like $200 and put it in there. Start and make it where it's a bag that you intend to grow. Like it's so hard because, like you're saying, when you have like 5,000, maybe you have $2,000 cash, and you're like, oh, do I just kind of keep the cash and let it grow, or do I take risk on? For me, like the way I did it is like I just like I'm gonna have cash pile. It's not gonna be touched. It's kind of like having
It's like a
a
savings.
bag I'm going to touch and a bag I'm not going to touch kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, that's where the dilemma comes with futures or Solon. I've already got a futures bag. Do I keep feeding that, or do I
slowly start moving it? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know that it's so hard. Like you said, with futures has more of an uncertain future, whereas something like Solon seems a little bit more concrete.
Yeah.
But who knows with crypto?
I think the safe bet is to just roulette.
Do it again. Have another
Oh,
bullet in
number
the
4.
chamber for roulette.
I'm telling you, so you thought you cracked roulette. I was sitting here during season 2 thinking I beat the game of Baccarat. Like that's what I was playing. I was like, I can't lose. Like this is mathematically assured. And I was crushing it. And then of course, it caught. I ended up with like, oh, I just lost 8 coin flips in a row. Sweet. Like it happens.
Yeah.
And, so what's your strategy with Baccarat? Because I have a buddy that's all he plays, like at the Hard Rock. So
yeah,
it's a 50% chance of winning, right?
Yeah, I had this thing called the cancellation method, where I would write down like 4 numbers. Mm-hmm. Like my goal is to win like $400 right now. So write down 1 1 1 1, and then if I won, I'd cross off 2 numbers from the list. If I lost, I would write down the amount I lost. And then the next bet would be I would add the first number and my last number to the list. So I'd start off 1 1 1 1. I'd bet $200. If I lost, I write a 2. And then I bet 1 + 2, $300. And then if I won, mm-hmm. I would knock off 2 numbers. If I lost, I would write 300 down. And then that way you can actually break even if you have like around I mathed it out like a 35% like winning percentage.
Oh,
so if it's a coin flip, it works, right?
Yeah.
What happens is if you hit a horrific streak of losing 8 out of 9, 9 out of 10, then the bets get so big, mm-hmm. and like unless you have like a gigantic bankroll, you start to just.
That's exactly what happened with me. So you know how Fibonacci works. It's for the odd ends,
2, 3, 5, 8. Yeah.
Yeah. So you add the last 2 numbers together. So 1 + 0 is 1. 1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 1 is 3. 3 + 1 is 5.
It's 5.
Yeah, 5. And then 5 + 3 is 8. So on and so forth. So I would play a dozens or the columns, whichever one it is. And you start with 1. Let's say you lose it, and you kind of want to lose, because the higher you go up, the more money you make. So let's say I bet on the 3rd dozen, I bet one coin, which would be like maybe whatever it is, $5, $10, $1, whatever you decide to play with. Say it's $1, make it easy math. I lose. The next bet, I play the same dozen, another $1, lose. Play another dozen, but now I'm playing $2. Let's say I get up to $5 and I win. Then I win. It pays double, 2 to 1. So I won $10 plus my original 5, and that pays back everything I lost plus more. So then once you win, you start back over again. You can pick a different column, but you start over again. But you have to have that bankroll to keep going. And exactly what you said, you get, it gets out of hand sometimes if you're playing too big of a bet.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a little risky betting on just 1 dozen or 1 column, because like your variance would be higher because you only have like that like 30% win rate.
Yeah. So I played it where I was playing 2 dozens at a time, and doing basically that same technique, but I was doing both. But you had to have a bigger bankroll, of course.
Yeah.
So once you hit, then you're like, okay, now I'm focusing on this one. Hit that one, then I'll start over again.
Yep.
So
It's like they added those 2 little green numbers to ruin our plans. Gosh.
yeah. Well, it's only one green number on
If you
TG.
play, you're playing European roulette? All
You
right.
got to play European, man.
Yeah.
You're a real deal gambler.
Dude, I got hardcore into roulette because I was like, oh, this is an easy
It's a
win.
lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun. You just gotta walk away when you're ahead.
It's a lot of fun until the same number hits 3 times in a row. Then you get pissed and you're like, they're cheating.
Until Benjamin comes in.
Yeah, until Benjamin comes in.
Yeah.
That's too funny. All right, guys. Well, I think we had a good show. It's been an hour and 45 minutes.
Jeez.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun, man.
Yeah.
All right, Bailey. Well, thanks for coming on, and let's
appreciate
see what happens with Goldwyn. If he, we'll figure out a show for tomorrow, maybe, or not tomorrow, but next week. And if you're free, come on and we'll play some baccarat and roulette live on the show.
All right. So yeah, just closing thoughts, guys. So like TGC Casino, real business, real revenue, real profit. That's going to be supporting the price of the token, and you can get the token pretty cheap right now, like pre-sale prices. And you've already seen kind of like you can look at 8-9 months of good track record of the team. So it's something. I don't promote anything that I wouldn't get involved with myself. I would convince my mom to buy this. So, like I believe strongly in it, but do your own research and check it out for yourself. It could be a good opportunity.
Nice.
Zach, I just remembered we have to do a spin for the Earn Network.
Okay.
Do you want to pull up a?
Sure. What are the numbers I got to put on the wheel today?
1 through 99, I believe. 109 or 999.
1 through 999. Sure. Is my screen still being shared right now?
Yep, it is. Bailey, do you want to pick a number?
1 through 99.
Yep.
69.
Okay. Now I don't know what we're playing for, but we're gonna roll it anyways. So let's hold on a second. Let me do the intro to this.
So
Alrighty. So this is for the Earn project. Bailey, have you learned anything about Earn? Heard about it?
I've heard about it. I know about flamelings and all that stuff, but I don't really know much beyond that. It was just like brain overload. I just had so much going on, and I was like, oh yeah, like Earn's kind of cool. I know there's a lot of cool people involved with it, but
Yeah,
I haven't
super
dug
cool
that
people.
deep into it.
Yeah. Mikey and Nadina are the developers. They're a married couple from Chicago, doxed. And dude, they are night and day difference from BT. No offense to BT, but he can rub people the wrong way sometimes. Mikey and Nadina, they're super cool people. They're actually, I think they were in the chat. They were the ones asking about what was the percentage being staked for TG. Oh, they're still in the chat. They're watching. They're a 2-hour show.
They're the real rugs to riches.
1 through 1,000. They said 1 through 1,000. Okay.
1 through 1,000. Got it. Oh,
And then what are we playing for today? Is this for? So basically, they have not a competition, but a prize where each week we'll spin the wheel, and either the top 1,000 holders one of them will win 100,000 Earn tokens, which is what, about $600 roughly right now. It's about free $600. Or yeah, and then the following week it'll be the Flameling tokens, and then the following week it'll be the flame NFT. Oh, what happened, Zach? What'd you do?
I'm still chilling here. It might be the internet again. Can you see my screen?
No, it just went out. It totally dropped.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, my internet dropped on my computer. Need to call my service provider. What's going on?
Are you, Bailey said that you were stealing the Wi-Fi from your neighbors.
No, actually, you know what's funny? I can even show you when my screen comes back up. You know what my what do you call it, Wi-Fi router name is? You see-
What?
It's a
Burpees?
Crypto Insider, and then it has my apartment number on it. So I was thinking someone to come by to like ask me some alpha, but no one's ever come by.
It's like stealth marketing.
Yeah, I'm like, come through if you're cool. Still nothing
Should
on
I
your
pick-
side. Let me refresh.
Should I just pick a number 1 through 1,000 then instead?
Correct.
Well, you already said 69, so it can't be that one.
Well, you gave me 1 through 99. Is it 1 through 1,000?
Yeah, it's 1 through 1,000. Actually, we
Like,
got to
I
do
know
2
what
drawings.
Give me 1 second.
In the spirit of like the TGC casino, you could do 777.
Oh,
The lucky sevens.
there we go. I like that. We need 2 numbers. Okay.
All right, my number I'm gonna pick is. Can you see my screen with the spinner on it?
I can see your chart.
What the heck? Give me 1 second here. Sorry about that.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Look, might just be sharing the one thing. Give me 1 second. Present, share screen, entire screen. All right. All right. How about now?
There we go.
All right. Everyone in the chat, put your numbers 1 through 1,000. Let's see who's going to be the lucky winner tonight. I hate to say this, AG. This wheel is not doing it for me as much as that other one you showed me on TGC. We need to have a beautiful woman in front of a giant, amazing
I agree.
size of the Empire State Building to spin a bit wheel.
Spin that sucker.
All right. I'm going to say 137. We got, what was it, 777 or 69, Bailey? What you got?
I go 777.
All right. What about you, AG? What you got?
I want to say 134.
Boom. Well, here we go, boys and girls. Hold on to your hats. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
The spinner is like psychedelic on my screen.
Yeah, it's all. Is it spinning? I can't tell.
It is. It's slowing down and
Slow down.
4838.
Okay, we have to do this twice because we took a week off. 438.
All righty. You got
All
that
right.
written down there? 438. I think that's a
438.
winner, right? That's one of the lower numbers. Which is
I think it is. The lower the number, the better.
All right. All right. Next number, I'm going to pick 777. I'm taking the lucky number this time. Let's see. Here we go.
634.
I was like, that's a really good sound animation you got there, AG. 23.
23. Way off.
Michael Jordan.
Someone won that one, that's for sure.
You're welcome, guys. I clicked the button. You're welcome. Hit
There
me
we
up.
go. So we got in the chat number 435 was the drawing for the wallet. So if you owned 100,000 tokens, and you were the 438th wallet that had 100,000 tokens, then you win another 100,000 tokens. You just doubled.
Double up.
And then this one, 23, was for the Flameling NFT holders. And that was a winner. I guess 430 or 438 was not a winner. They didn't have 100,000 tokens.
Okay.
So
Let's go then. That's awesome.
yeah, gotta try next time.
Some will be happy in the morning when they wake up. Get some more earn in their wallet.
Yeah, Bailey, I'll shoot you over the link. I did a AMA about earn token over at a James Pelton show. Yeah, so I'll shoot you a link so you learn a little bit more about now that's all CC Crypto, man. He was the one that got me in touch with him.
Nice.
Yeah.
You guys are going to be flying up the charts before you know it. You'll have that announcer on the real wheel for the giveaways before you know it.
That would be a lot of fun, actually. If we could hire just a nice, good-looking model, just yank a wheel.
It sounds like, Bailey, they know you on a first name basis. Maybe you could put in a good word for us.
Yeah, really.
It
looks like you spent enough money. They should at least reimburse you for something.
Yeah, right. Well, you know what? I'm going to I'm definitely going to send this show over to the TG
Nice.
Telegram group. So you might get some more subs and
Cool.
exposure that way.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure.
All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here. It's been it's almost 2 hours now. So definitely try to come back on the show tomorrow or next week. But we'll try.
All right.
We'll do some gambling. Let's play some poker or something.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
All right,
Peace.
thanks everyone. Take care.
Yes.